Well, welcome everybody. It is Thursday night 9 on the Amateur Players Tour with some similar but different faces. So I am Matt Fegley, known as the handicap or competition chairman, and I'm here filling in for the boss man. Mr. Tim Harbin is filling in as the assistant from Atlanta, Birmingham. How you doing, Timmy?
Good, Fegley. How you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing all right. This is going to be a fun experience today. As I was making the crack in the pre-meeting about this not being the A team but the B team, but that's okay. We'll still give it our best shot and make sure that everybody's staying informed. We're getting some good folks that we got on here to talk about the tour and talk about their playing experience from the chapter owner side as well as the players. So it should be a good night. I know a lot of folks are traveling, so it'll be good. You're not in Florida this weekend, are you?
No, I'm not in Florida this weekend. We're staying at home this weekend. My brother actually has his 50th birthday party we're going to Saturday, so kind of planned a weekend off for that, and then we'll be gearing up to get ready to go to Phoenix after that.
Nice. Yeah, you and I will be seeing each other out there. So I am not in Florida either. I am on the coastal beaches of North Carolina for the weekend. So I know a lot of folks are out there looking forward. We have 120 players down at PGA National, where all the fine leadership folks are out at dinner right now. So that's all good. So I don't know. I guess we'll just kick it off. We'll bring our first guest on. We've got Mr. Dan Kennelly from the New Jersey chapter. Let's see how this works. All right, Dan.
It works.
You're on screen. Now let's see if I can move people around. There we go. You're going to be the center of attention.
Front and center.
Love it. I'll apologize now.
Hey, Fegley, since we are the handicap committee or competition committee and we're both degenerate gamblers that like to set lines on things, what's the over-under on us finishing on time tonight without Chris?
Ooh. Oh, well, I would say it would be pretty good because, running out of questions and topics, but you never know. It might start to, rock and roll. And next thing you know, it'd be like all kinds of other good conversations that 2 hours have passed and you're like, oh no, what happened? But with that, Dan, we appreciate you coming on. You are the fine chapter owner out in New Jersey. Just give us a little breakdown. How long have you been a part of the APT as both a player and chapter owner?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. This will be my third year involved with the APT. I played it the first year that the APT was in New Jersey. And then due to what I learned to be a lot of work in order to run a chapter, the previous owner didn't have the time that it really kind of takes. So I kind of volunteered or asked a lot of questions and was like, well, hey, why don't you try it? And so here I am trying it. And it's been an experience, but a fun one for sure. Taking a lot of pride in it and growing the chapter really great, and appreciative of Anthony that ran it beforehand. He brought a lot of great players over. We had a great turnout when he had it, and we've just been running from it and building upon what he had.
Awesome. Yeah, one of my favorite stories about how Dan is a detail-oriented guy. Those of you that know that, there goes a lot of setup with the tour and, setting up simple things like tents and tables and everything. So I called Dan and I was like, hey, Dan, how are things going for your event? Dan's like, great. Me and a buddy, we have properly set up the tent and our tables in my backyard. I know how it works. I can put the stakes in the ground. Everything's good. And I was like, yeah, I think New Jersey is in good hands if we've got a guy that is literally setting up things in his backyard.
Set it all up. I had all the sale sign flags up in the backyard. I had the TV and the computer out with the light, I did as though I was running the show right there in my backyard. So, I am retired military, so that's kind of what we do. So
there you go. I mean, that was one of my all-time greats. It's like, yeah, he did everything in his backyard just to make sure it worked. So,
sure.
and then as all of us that have dealt with the tents, you understand that you have to find the little washers because
That's right.
they will loosen up and they are a pain if you do lose them. But anyhow, so let's talk a little bit about New Jersey. Some of the fun golf courses you have. It looks like you've got a really solid schedule.
Yeah.
And you span a lot of the courses. What's some of the highlights that you guys have?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we kicked off on April 14th at our favorite course that we've for the last 3 years have always kicked off at Shakamoxon. Had an awesome turnout, 112 players. Was just an incredible day, beautiful day. And then from there, we had to actually, I've never had to unfortunately cancel an event, but we had wildfires out here and such. And so it was very disappointing. Where people were chomping at the bit to get out to play, but we made up for that with this past 2 events. We had them back to back at a new course called Hawk Point. It's a private course, and the players that came out just fell in love with this course. It was very challenging if you've never played it. A lot of it's a course management type of course, but if you don't know it, it's very difficult. It doesn't help. It's not very conducive to that. But we do have some great events coming up on July 28th, River Winds, just outside of Philadelphia. There's a reason that it has the word river and winds in it. And it has nothing to do with the fact that it's just all land and there is, there's no wind. There's no. And then we're also got a joint event with our Central Pennsylvania buddies out at White Manor. Another great private course. That's on July 21st. And then a new course that has been recommended to us, Scotland Run. They were a public course, and now they've gone private, and they're just a little bit southeast of Philadelphia. Okay. And then finally a great Echo Lake. I'm naming all our private courses just because we got a bunch, and that it's it's the cream of the crop. They're not places you normally get to play or get on unless you know somebody or you come out to the APT and come join us.
Right. That's the great thing about having a big, strong chapter like you guys have out there is that you start to get the Mondays and especially with the Northeast up there, you guys have so many good golf courses. Everybody who watched the Truist, I guess is now it's called before the PGA that was at Philadelphia Cricket, gives you an idea of how good all that golf is up there, So again, that's really awesome. Anything do you have anything that you want to share with the group? Any of your favorite events, anything that folks need to, just nationally or other experiences that you might have had?
Yeah. So, one of the big takeaways that, I'm doing so I did like the Facebook leads, the whole recruiting kind of stuff to get new members. I'm actually have 70 brand new members to the APT on my tour this year. Yeah. And when I talk to these gents and ladies getting ready to have their first experience, I really want to focus on the golf community that we're trying to build, mm-hmm. And I think we do build it. And I like to share the story that I'm not from New Jersey. I've only lived here for 8 years. I don't have a big group, of people, but there's 5 of us that travel around and do things, and we play, we play other courses and such like that when we're not doing the APT event. And we are such an eclectic group that in a normal world, we would never cross paths in any capacity at all. And I share that story with so many of my new members because it truly is about the community. Obviously competitive golf and trying to get on courses and that you don't normally get to play and get, but building that golf community and listening to a lot of my players, I'm getting emails all the time. Hey, can you pair me up with this guy? Can you pair me up with this guy or what have you? Or hey, we got this side group chat going and we're, and they're just bantering back and forth. And I think that's what it's all about. I truly love it. And I don't play in any of my events. So I've been fortunate enough to, I just went out, did the San Diego thing at Torrey Pines and I finished last. And it's okay because I can only go up. That's all.
That's right.
And I'm going to do that. You're going to see it when I'm in Phoenix with you guys at TPC Scottsdale. But there's only going up from there. But I had a blast. And again, we traveled, there was 3 of us from Jersey that traveled and had a great time. So that's what it's really all about. It's just, that I really think it's about that community. My guys see it all the time.
There you go. Totally get it. Go ahead, Timmy.
Talking about traveling, Dan, what are, being in the Southeast, we have the lovely Bermuda grass everywhere. So what type of grasses and kind of what characteristics that kind of define the golf up there where you're at? Try to give
So I am not savvy on the names of the grasses. They're green, they roll. Sometimes some are a little bit faster than others. This is probably an educational area that I could brush up on, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, it proves to my game that it probably doesn't matter to me because I can go out and play well sometimes out, wherever I'm at. Like when we went and played last year, we did the Indiana French Lick, right? And so we played Scotland Run as a practice round, and I shot. I've never broken 80, and I was putting for a 79 on the 18th hole, and I'm like, this is great. This was the practice round. Fast forward to the next day, no. So I mean the grass, yeah. But I will educate. Now I'll get back to you on that one, Tim. I'm gonna. I will let you know what kind of grass is beyond green that we have.
Fagley, you can probably educate me on this too, but I'm assuming Kentucky bluegrass and bent greens for the most part.
I'm going to say bent is going to be the primary, and then just
that sounds familiar to me.
Yes,
I may have heard people talk about that.
Bent greens, bluegrass, fescue, all the good normal,
Yeah. Oh yeah, lots of fescue. We have Oh yes, we have definitely lots of fescue. Yes.
Oh my gosh. So that was great. Oh my gosh. That was really good. Tim, this is always the fun part, right? Is you always have the questions, you're kind of like, hey, we're gonna ask this and ask that, and then one of the hosts or somebody will be like, hey, I want to ask this, and then the poor guy goes, oh man, I don't know.
I'm not one to try and just talk my way through. If I don't know something, I don't know something. That's what I tell all my players too, right? Like if I don't know something, I'll go get the answer. I may not know it. I'll acknowledge that I don't know it, but I will get the answer. And Matt can attest that I ask a lot of questions.
Yes.
I will ask questions.
Yes,
true.
Yes, you will. Matt, Chris, the other Matt, the boss Matt, everyone was like, yes, Dan has questions. All right, Dan, greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I'll probably keep you on for the next segment. We're gonna go over to one of our players now. We're gonna bring on Mr. Andrew Black from Seattle. Let's see. All right, let's see how this works. All right,
hey.
Andrew, I got you here. We're gonna try to get you in the spotlight. How's this work? Nope, Andrew's not in the spotlight.
You're getting it. You're getting closer.
There we go.
Hey, there we go.
All right.
Yeah, nobody liked that last view with me in the spotlight. Nobody wanted that.
All right. We'll roll with this one. We'll keep the focus on the man that gets all the questions. So with us we have Mr. Andrew Black out of the Seattle chapter. He was, like myself, a 2024 North American champion in Division III. When we were chatting earlier, I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. I was like, I recognize this guy. And I was like, yeah, we were last year. I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're drinking champagne together. Come on.
Exactly. We had all the fun champagne shenanigans where
exactly.
I had no idea how to, do a proper champagne, toast and all that other stuff. But anyhow, Andrew, thanks for joining.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. If you want, go ahead. Just give us a little bit about your APT history, how you found us. Anything you want to start off with as far as joining up with us.
Yeah, absolutely. I was pretty much started golfing in 2020. I've swung clubs for a while before that. Thanks to my dad kind of teaching me how to swing, but. 2020 came around, played a couple of years. I'm like, you know what? I want to do something more competitive. I missed that competitiveness, just growing up playing hockey and other sports. So
Okay.
Ended up just looking up tournaments in Seattle and came across the APT. I'm like, well, this looks perfect. Hopped on, and then the first year I joined, ended up was able to go to the North American Championship in Nashville, and made the cut, everything like that. It was great, and then just have slowly moved my way up until last year where I ended up winning the NAC.
Nice. That's awesome. Any of your favorite venues you got there in Seattle? Any of your favorite courses?
Oh yeah, I mean, you can never. You always have to go play the U.S. Open Chambers Bay. Whenever you come out here. So I know in 2022 they had APT had a major out here as well, and ended up winning that in Div 4. So it was a really cool experience. But I mean, just any chance you get to play a U.S. Open course, take it.
Absolutely. That was a good one. It's one of my more favorite. I'm going to make the joke here about Minder being, it's one of my top five courses, or top 20, top 5 courses, or whatever, however we give them a hard time for, having way too many top 5 courses. But Chambers is a great venue. I really, really enjoy that one. Another one that I've had, my aunt lives up in Seattle. Another place that I've had the opportunity to play is the home course. That one is a good one. I love the fact of their logo. I know I probably brought this up a couple times, but the tips there, they have the dynamite tees because it was a former dynamite factory. So have you ever experienced dynamite tees?
If you want to play a tough course from Dynamites, I mean, it's 7,400 yards. Yeah. That is a test.
Yes. It's one of those where it's like, maybe we have to talk to Warren, or we got to figure out how to do that. It's like just, the slaughter in the fall or something where you go out.
Oh, gosh, man. It's tough enough. Don't do it in the fall.
You might have the opportunity. The dry season's been in. It'll get some firm and fast.
Maybe.
Fair enough. As far as traveling goes, you said you've been to the North American, both in Myrtle and Nashville. Have you had the opportunity to go anywhere else or see any other venues outside of the Seattle area?
Yeah. I mean, earlier this year, I had the pleasure of going to the one in Black Desert. Man, what an incredible course. And I mean, just the APT being able to go and do all these different tournaments, though, are absolutely incredible. But yeah, going to Southern Utah, playing Legends and Black Desert, what an experience.
Was that your first time being there, or have you been down in that area before?
Nope, first time. So I actually went with my buddy Nick Gerard, who's also in the APT, and he's in Div 3, and we actually did really, really well in the tournament. But yeah, we both traveled together, played in the same tournament, and it was just what a great time that was. So
got it. Are you and Nick like similar guys, or you guys fall under the category of like Dan, where it's like you guys are two guys that would have never really hung out too much if it wasn't for golf?
You know what? It's so funny is that we would never hang out if it wasn't for golf.
Okay.
It's actually like I met him at this little fundraiser scramble thing, and he was my partner, and we just got talking. And at the end of ATM, I told him to join the APT, and next thing you know, he's crushing it. I mean, he won player of the here last year. So I mean, yeah.
That's really cool. So again, it's another building the community, getting to meet folks that you necessarily wouldn't have. That's cool. That's awesome. So as far as Seattle goes, anything out there that you're looking forward to for the rest of the year that some of us need to take note and potentially come up there for?
Yeah, I mean, our chapter finals are at Chambers this year.
Okay.
So always come out for that. And then I know we have an elevated tournament at Whitehorse, which back in the day was classified as like the hardest golf course in Washington. They took out like 70 bunkers there. It's crazy. And there's still too many bunkers there. It's a place where you're in the forest, but you feel like you're in the beach, so.
Okay. All right. So if we get the opportunity to come up that way and do that, all right. Awesome. Well, man, I greatly appreciate you coming on and sharing your experience with us.
Thanks for. I mean, seriously, it was great talk with you guys. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Are you headed anywhere to any other majors this year, or are you?
No. I mean, I'll be going to the NEC again this year in Florida, so I'll be very much looking forward to that one. That's for sure. So.
All right, sweet. Well, I will see you there, and we will see you
there.
I will. So with that, Andrew, thanks for coming on, and thanks for sharing.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
We'll see you.
Bye.
Always the fun part. Yep. Hey, there we go. All right. Hey, okay. I'm learning the controls.
Cooking with grease.
Cooking with grease. Oh man, dude, it's always good to get to see some of the players out there and get to talk their experience and all that
Absolutely.
stuff. So we are covering sea to shining sea. So we got the Pacific Northwest. And Tim does bring up a good point. We can give ourselves a breather, and that probably would be a good idea. If I have the ability to pull it off. Let's see. All right. Yes, I can.
We've got such great sponsors. We need to let them have a moment.
We do,
True.
and I'll leave it up to the company that one of the founding firms, I guess one of the founding partners that Mr. Jack Curry loves. So we'll cut it over to 2 under for a minute, and then we'll cut back. So here we go. Message from our sponsor, 200.
Excuse me, Mr. Fowler? Aren't you forgetting something?
Thanks, man.
There you go. Tim, have you ever, ventured out of the locker room?
Left your glove behind.
Not since high school. Let's put it that way.
All right.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, fair enough. Well, with that, we are going to move over to one of the faces that folks probably know. He definitely travels quite a bit. One of our Augusta members, Mr. Michael Chofie, is going to join us. So here we go. Let's bring him on. There he is. Michael is here. Let's see if we can get him in the big screen. Here we go.
Hey guys.
How are you?
Hey, Michael.
Hey.
Great seeing you, man. Great seeing you. I'm just going to do the same thing that I always do, just ask how you found the APT, how you got started, some of your playing history.
Okay. Well, I started in 2022. One of my customers where I worked at, he introduced the APT Tour of Augusta to me. So I haven't played golf much in my early years. So anyways, 2022 was my first year. I was fortunate enough to never win a tournament in Augusta, but I had enough points to win Augusta Player of the Year.
Okay.
Then the senior national championship, because I was 50.
Yep.
And then also was fortunate enough in Nashville to win D4 National Player of the Year. So
yeah, you had a heck of a year coming out of the gate.
Yeah, very first year I was very fortunate. But
I love that. I did not know that story that you didn't win a single event locally until
I did
cool.
honestly.
Look at me now.
I did not win an event in Augusta until 2024.
Wow.
And that was as D3. So
Okay.
It took 2 full years to win in Augusta. That's just how hard it seems to be here.
There you go. It's always the fun times where you're like, man,
yeah,
help me out. Oh, dude, that's awesome. What's some of your favorite venues down there in the Augusta area that you play?
Well, Champions Retreat is our tag event. I mean, that's the best event we have. That's where Anwar plays. The women play before their final round at Augusta National. And then we also have Westlake and Woodside Plantation. Those are both great tracks that we get to play.
Okay. Awesome. As far as personal experience on the APT, do you have any travel buddies? Or I know that you're more of a family guy with you and the wife that travel together, or or is that how your travel experience goes, or are you a group person?
No, yeah. So it's just me and my wife that travel. We have met Pat and Tammy Ryan through the APT. We met them a couple years ago. Yeah, we first met them at Disney 2 years ago. We played in D3 one of the rounds at the Palm course. But my wife, every time we go out of town, we go together. So she gets to travel a lot. Just like San Diego, we just went to Torrey Pines event, and I joke I didn't play good on Sunday because Saturday we spent all day at Disneyland, which was, that's what she wanted. That was on her bucket list. So, but I had a good round at Torrey Pines, so I was happy with that.
That's right. You're able to recoup. So that's the interesting thing. So as people that have been to Disneyland and Disney World, the castle size is definitely different. I don't know if you noticed that, but the housing prices in California, the castle. And Tim, you're going to have to help me. It's which princess is where? Is it Snow White's or is that Cinderella's?
Do I need to call the wife in here and ask?
Yeah,
her?
we may have to get that.
I'm ashamed. I can tell you.
I'm like Michael. Anytime we go to Orlando, I have to take the wife, and I spend 3 or 4 days in Disney. So I play golf like I always play golf crappy, but I at least get something to blame it on at that point.
See, I was stumping you, but Michael's going to be the man with the answer here. All right. So who do we have?
So Cinderella is in Orlando, and
Okay.
Sleeping Beauty is in California.
Okay, got it.
So,
Got it. Here we go. So yeah, that's the one thing that I always like to point out is like, you can definitely tell the real estate price difference just based on the castle size between the two.
Yeah.
So one thing that you did get to experience, and I see you have a nice logo on your shirt. You are you're I believe it's your wife that has some privileges that allow you an opportunity to do something that is on probably every golfer's bucket list. So you want to talk about your day today?
Yeah. Earlier I mentioned I can't post anything on Facebook or Instagram, but about 12 years ago, my wife got a job at the Augusta National. So once a year they have employee appreciation, and she gets to bring a guest. Guest has to be immediate family. So I've went 11 times, and funny story, when my son was 15, I let him go play because he played middle school and high school golf. So yes, today was the day we got to play Augusta, and it's still very nice. Great condition. One thing most people don't know, we get to have golf carts. So, my wife, the first few years, she ran over a few tee boxes, and, she came really close to going straight over 10 tee box today, and a couple of greens, she went right up on the fringe, just because everything's gone. There's no stands. There's no leaderboards. There's just 2 little pieces of a tree that, the little tee markers, and that's all they have out there. So
like, here you go have it. So I heard you got a good front 9 and the back 9. The back 9 kind of got you, eh?
Yeah, I shot 39 on the front, and that's the best front 9 I've ever had.
Awesome.
One year I shot 38 on the back. That was phenomenal for me. But today it got real gusty, windy, probably 25, 30 mile an hour wind gusts by the time we hit the back 9. So I shot 42, 81 all, overall from the members tee. For me, that's great. So
that's great. That's awesome. Any memorable birdies or anything, or was it just
birdie 12? That's the most important hole.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the very first hole, you always have first tee jitters.
Absolutely.
I put it in a bunker on second shot, and I had about a 30-yard bunker shot, and I lipped out. Left it about a foot past it, so I saved my par.
Okay.
So I was off to a good start. Had a lot of pars on the front, just couldn't get a birdie to drop. But like I said, three over on front 9 was great. So
that's awesome.
I was very happy with that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I didn't realize we'd get you on the day. Of appreciation day,
Yeah, usually it's tomorrow, and then we usually head to the stream song, or I know the major's in a different area this year, but we had to skip it this year. But like the last 2 years, I'd play the national and then go play stream song for 3 days. So that was always my practice round.
There you go. You can get warmed up. That's really awesome. So besides playing one of the top 5 golf courses on the planet, what's your highlights as far as traveling with the APT?
Each year there's a great course. Of course, I enjoyed Torrey Pines this year so far. I missed out on Kiowa, but yeah, we were traveling somewhere else. But French Lick, the die course, we're going back this year. That's one of my favorite. I didn't play well last year, so I want some revenge on that one.
Some revenge, yeah.
Yeah, I do. Stream Song's always favorite. My wife loves that because everybody's together.
Yep.
And you meet different people, whether you're hanging out at the pool or the lobby. That's always a great resort where everybody's just together. So. Yep,
absolutely. You get the late night bar where there's always some weird shenanigans up the stairs.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was last year or 2 years ago, whatever that was. A couple folks, not with our group, but they were running around. You're like, somebody's got to get that poor kid to his room.
That was last year.
Was that last year?
That was last year.
Fair enough. Oh man. Well, Michael, is there anything else that you'd like to send off or shout out or anything before we cut out and move on?
Well, I'd just like to say I've met a lot of nice people through the APT. All the tournaments that we play, whether it's here in Augusta or the majors or just traveling, has really been a great experience. I don't think I've ever had a person in a group that I didn't have a good time with. And I really enjoy the organization and the way things are run. So I do really appreciate that.
Well, yeah, man, we greatly appreciate it. It's players like you, guys like you that come out and support us, and that's what makes it worth it. So, man, thanks a lot for the time. Thanks a lot for the story, and
all right,
glad you had to have a good week, man, and a good day. So, again, I'll probably see you at Nationals, if not at French Lick. So, travel safe, and we'll see you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Travel safe.
Yeah, that's right. Whenever they're traveling safe. Hey, Tim, you're in the spotlight now.
Yeah. Again, nobody wants to see this, Fagley. We need to change it. We don't want people tuning out while we're talking.
Hey, there we go. The three-headed monster. Oh my gosh. Well, dude, that was pretty awesome getting to hear Michael's story about the fine national. I guess
I was going to ask him what it would take for him to adopt me, since it had to be immediate family. I mean,
well, you'd have to get adopted, then you'd have to convince him that he doesn't need to play.
That's right. He doesn't. You've already done it. You've already done it. Your new favorite child. Come on.
What do you think? 100, 150,000, something along those lines, maybe?
Right. That's right.
Buying the beach house.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Absolutely.
It's been fun. I haven't looked at the chat at all during this wonderful evening. Is there any fun questions or anything out there? Has anybody been paying attention?
No, they're talking about Cinderella, about the castles.
Dude, that was pretty awesome. I always knew. I was like, was it Snow White? Is it Cinderella? Who's got what? All right, so Jody's got it. Dan. All right, we got Alderucci talking about he likes Echo Lake.
Yes, that's a fantastic course.
There we go.
Bent grass and fescue. Got it.
Yes, exactly.
See? Now you ask me. Ask me, Tim, what kind of grass do we have?
So, Dan, what kind of grass do y'all have up in New Jersey?
Tim, it's a great question. I'm glad you brought that question up. And we have bent and fescue.
Yeah. Bluegrass and
green. And lots of green.
Green. It's all green.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, Lordy. Whew. Oh, man.
Can I share a quick story when we were at French Lick?
Of course.
Time for a quick. So
we got all kinds of time.
So this was on that practice round day that where I was scoring really well and stuff. And so it was myself and my friend Rich that and he was having a couple, like I like to call them in Canada, we call them wobbly pops, and he was making friends with these two guys that were they were gonna play the local event, but they weren't playing the 2-day event. So they're riding with us, and we were like on the 5th hole maybe, and he's like, and I'm across the fairway, and he's, Dan, what kind of, do you have like queen beds in your room, or do you have a king bed? I'm like, I've got 2 queens. He's like, oh, perfect. He turns to these guys, and he's like, hey, you guys can take Dan's room and Dan will come up and be in my room because I got 2 queens. So I didn't think anything of it because it's only the 6th hole.
Right.
We get to the 17th hole. Again, I'm across the way. And I thought maybe now, because, the pops are flying and stuff. And I thought maybe they forgot all about this. And I hear him talking. He's like, all right, yes, when we get back, you guys just grab your stuff. You go up to the room. We'll get you all squared away. And I looked dead across, stared him down. And I'm like, Rich, that is not going to work. He's trying to give away my room. Who does that? So that was my French lick story. Yeah.
So
Trying to give away my. So then because he felt bad, he had a brand new pair of Jordan golf shoes of sorts, or Nike, whatever they were. And he's like, I feel bad that we can't give you the room. So he took the shoes off and gave the shoes to the guys. Yeah.
I mean, if I was in that position and I was trying to, give away your room, I would have at least, maybe auctioned it off for a couple $100.
Right. No, he was just like, you guys are in. We can get you guys into the 2-day. He's like, we'll get you into the 2-day event. You can have Dan's room. He was selling it all.
Hey, look, we could have auctioned off spots. I needed to recover some of the funds that I might have left on the casino floor.
Right. That's
first
right.
night.
Yeah.
So probably could have used, I probably could have auctioned my spot off to make do with that.
I'll sleep in my car.
Yeah, right.
Oh my gosh. So Timmy, we kind of talked about it in the intro. So you are off this week in Alabama, and then you guys are coming back in June. Do you go to Birmingham and Atlanta, or?
Yeah, so May the 31st, we have an event at Limestone Springs, which is one of our top courses. Used to be number one in the state. Went through some bad times. About 5 years ago, or 4 years ago, I guess. An older gentleman bought it because his son was on a local golf team, and he literally spent $5 or $6 million removing trees, resodding, doing all sorts of things. And now it's back in its pristine form. I would put it up against any public course in the state right now.
Okay.
It's absolutely fantastic. And then we go to Atlanta on June 1st for a semi-private, or actually it's a fully private club, Cannon Gate down in Peachtree City, just south of Atlanta. So Looking forward to that. I will not be at that event. I will be on a plane flying to Vegas.
Yes.
Again, to be a degenerate. So, spending some time there, letting Derek, my business partner, run both of those events without me. And I'm sure it will probably go better than if I was there. So less chance of me screwing things up. So,
oh man, there you go. So looking at the event this weekend, are you guys, have you ever played down there at PGA National? Have you guys ever been down there? I've never played it. So unfortunately, I don't have any thoughts. Timmy?
I drove by the exit about a month and a half or so ago. Went down a little south of there. Went down to Pompano Beach. But other than that, that's as close as I've been. So,
man. All right. So the live guys are like, hey, I hope everybody has fun. I hear the golf course is great.
It's good.
Remember,
looks good on TV.
And remember your pace of play. Keep up with the group in front of you.
But I'm sure if we were down there, it'd be in our top. It'd be one of our 30 top 5 golf courses.
Exactly.
If we were down there.
Top 5. There we go. That's 100%. Definitely in the 30.
I think you have to put the top 5 in categories like A top 5, B top 5. C, like if you do that, you can have as many top 5. You can have up to 26 top 5s, really, if you really wanted to.
Oh my gosh. Oh, oof.
We could.
Yeah, it's that time of year. I guess Golf Digest came out with their top 100, and it's always the time where Twitter or X starts to chime up with all the golf architectural snobs, and
Speaking of Golf Digest, I have one of my female players, Miss Law Fountain, that in 2024, the end of the year, she was recognized as Golf Digest's most improved player.
Wow.
She went from a plus 30 to a plus 18 handicap. And she used to be a professional boxer. So, I mean, she's determined.
Dude,
So.
you've got your rules dispute person.
Right. Yes. It's true. Put her at the table when they come in. What do you think, La? That's right.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. True story.
Oh, dude, that's pretty cool. That's like the
It
random.
is very cool. When I was talking to her a couple of days ago, well, actually a couple of weeks ago, she shared that with me, and then I guess I gave her like $5,000 worth of like golf clubs and all kinds of stuff. And
Yeah, they ruined her amateur stuff. Sweet.
yeah, right. Well, yeah, I don't. However that works, I don't know. I'm not. Was it? I don't know. Maybe it was a. What was? Is it? I don't know if it's a prize gift. I don't know what you call it.
See,
Dan meant 500, not 5,000. He added a zero, unfortunately.
Or it was because it was a contest.
Oh,
Maybe.
It wasn't a green competition. It was just
no. She wasn't. She didn't get it for. She was just recognized. Like it wasn't like she wasn't playing in anything.
I know. That's why I was saying. That's why she could win that.
Yeah, she's not like wasn't. That's right. That's right. I was happy on that opening day at Dancing Rabbits. True story.
Is that because you had some southern grass?
I got the hole in one.
Oh,
that's right. I had the first hole in one of the APT for the 2024 season.
No way.
True story. Yeah.
What'd you hit? What hole?
Hole number 8, I believe it was. It was a par 3, obviously, and and then it went all downhill after that. But yeah, it was it was a lot of fun. It was, and the cool part was because it was a par 3 and we were backed up a little bit, there was other people other than my group that got to witness it. So that was kind of.
You had the gallery.
I did. I had a little bit of a gallery, and it echoed nicely off the trees. The yelling, that is, not the ball going in. Yeah.
Oh, dude. Yes,
it was pretty sweet.
There's lots of yelling. What about you, Timmy? You've had an ace?
No, I have not.
What?
No. So I do have a cool hole-in-one story, though. It's not me, but we were on a golf trip a couple of months ago, and a gentleman in our group been playing golf for 57 years, I believe.
Yes. And
had his first hole-in-one on our golf trip. And you would have thought, the pure emotion that came over that man was just unbelievable. So it's one of the better days I've had on a golf course. I'll put it in. And I had, again, playing like crap, like I typically do, but just the pure emotion, how happy that man was, just it made up for anything else that could be bad going on that day.
There you go. I mean, but wasn't it kind of interesting because he was kind of like, yeah, I've done it, but all you guys, like the group was more over the moon than.
Yeah, 1,000%. The group was more happy about it than he was when it was all said and done.
Right.
We had kind of like Dan was saying, we were kind of backed up. So we had another group that was right on our tails that so there's 5 or 4 groups of us. Mm-hmm. And our group, he hit it. The group behind us was right there. One of the gentlemen in that group proceeded to get in his cart and drive back down the fairway to the last group, hollering about it. So it was all fun. It was it was the first time so there's 16 of us, and it was the first time all but one had met that gentleman. So it's wow. And that was even better. And it goes to show you the type of people, like everybody's talking about, the type of people you meet playing golf that you would never have a chance to meet any otherwise. So,
yep.
100%.
So Dan, we do have a question. Was that the $2,500 hole or a $500 hole, or was
it was not? It was the $500 hole.
Oh, okay, that's all right.
It's still $500, and then the super skins and the skin that I got. So I mean, it paid for the. I mean, it was almost $1,000, and I stuck around the bar, and only a few people came, and
that was my question, Dan. Did it at least cover the bar tab?
It did, yeah. I mean, and unfortunately, not so many people. I mean, or fortunately, however you want to look at it. I did hang out for a little while, but
yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome.
It was pretty good.
So we've covered our guests. We've chatted a little bit about fun golf stories and hole in ones. You know, we did touch on pace of play a little bit, Timmy. You know, is there anything else that you want to touch on before we sign off? Call it a night.
So looking back through the chat, I saw, let's see, Nathan Frazier was asking about a rule, and I don't even know what rule he was asking about. Let's look back through that.
Okay.
27-1C. I have no clue what he's asking about on that. Frazier, give us some more context.
This has got to be something that he's wanting to giving me a hard time about.
It's 100%. That's why I'm bringing it up, as I know it's to give you a hard time.
I'm doing the Google. All right, what else we got? Lost ball or out of bounds. Yeah, there we go. Oh, jeez. Oh. I think that was
Is there a story behind this, Fagley?
I totally flip-flopped, or I was flipping around. One of these lives, I flipped and flopped all about, you know, is it on the line or is it out of the line, or what's the line and who's the line and all that other fun stuff. So, you know.
So in that regards, I actually saw a Facebook post about a boundary fence, a chain link boundary fence with a 2-foot wide concrete apron poured to anchor the fence. If the stakes are along the line of the fence, do you get relief if you're on the concrete?
Holy smokes.
The general consensus was no, because it's part of the fence, so it's an immovable object at that point.
Yeah, it's part of the boundary object at that point, right?
Yeah, it's still in bounds, but you don't get relief from the concrete.
That's fair. That's fair. See, it was the interesting thing where, man, I forget what that one was. We were talking about, you know, is it in bounds or out of bounds? You know, it had to deal with, when is a ball considered out, and your ball has to be completely out. Like if any of it is in play, it's in play, right? But the line, you know, the line constitutes out of bounds. So as long as it's, you know, it's got to be completely out, I think is where that one was, you know. So
depends on if it's painted or not, right?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't even matter if it's painted or not. It's, you know, if you check down the line, but oh my gosh, we're going to get off the sidetrack here.
So,
all right, Bill McMahon has a question. If you're hitting a ball over
a lake,
it means lake, not leg.
Yeah,
not leg. I mean, it could be leg. It could be a lake.
The leg of the lake.
That's right.
It could be like a.
You re-tee it, or do you drop from the drop zone? Well, all right. It's question one: is the penalty area is the penalty area red or yellow? Right. If it's yellow, then your only options are to re-tee. Well, not necessarily, but keep the penalty area between you and the flag, which generally is a re-tee, or use a drop zone. If it's red and it crossed over and came back, then technically you can drop on the other side. But you can always, if a drop zone is in play, you can always use the drop zone regardless if it's red or yellow. Was that fair enough explanation? I mean, I think I kind of nailed that one.
It's close enough for government work. I don't know if it's close enough for APT work, but it is close enough for government work.
I mean,
horseshoes and hand grenades.
I mean, that was close enough, wasn't it?
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, no, I think it was.
I mean, I guess the answer to the question is if you can you always have the option of the drop zone, right?
Yes. Yeah. If the drop zone's in play, if drop zones have been declared,
correct.
You always have the option of taking the drop zone, regardless if it's a red penalty area or a yellow penalty area. You can always do drop zones. Always. If they're, you know, which you'll know in this edition.
If you read your rule sheet.
No penalty area, just can't find the ball.
So the lake is always a penalty area.
Yeah. The lake will always be a penalty. If it's not, even if it's marked.
Even if it's not marked, you'd play the lake as marked as red lined at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. It's where you believe the natural level of the lake ends. That's a whole interesting other discussion.
Especially if you hit over and it comes back, that really becomes weird with no red lines.
With no red lines. Oh boy. So Alderucci's asking about New England's schedule. I don't know. That's my answer to that. The powers that be will be in Florida, and you can ask for an update from them, from Matt or Phil or Jody. They may have an update on that. I don't know exactly where that stands.
Alderucci is also correct to Gus's question about.
So I'm looking at the schedule. There are some. There's one in New Haven Country Club in Boylston, Massachusetts, July 7th. There is August 2nd in Maine. The link's at Outlook. So there's some. If you go on June 22nd and 23rd, there's a 2-day one in Cape Cod Coastal Challenge in Brewster, Mass. So
sorry, we're all laughing because
right.
I like the way Dan
I'm
said it.
thinking
Dan
he's
was a lot more
driving
politically
now.
correct, as he basically said the same thing that Nathan said.
But I think he's driving. He said he was crossing over from one thing to another. And I know that he's not texting and driving, but I think he's listening to us and probably talking to text and was asking the question.
Yeah.
Ironically, though, he's not heading north. I think he's heading south. So it's probably not like he's looking for an event tomorrow. But just so you know, the first one up there is June. Although I think interesting, it says the 4 p.m. tee times. I don't know about that. However, it is a 2-day at Brewster, Mass.
Summer solstice, man. Summer solstice, you can get it done.
I mean, just saying. But it does look like New England Cape Cod Coastal Challenge at Ocean Edge, Brewster, Massachusetts.
See, thank you, Gus. I appreciate that. Yes, exactly. We need clarification. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, with
yes,
that,
Rich, we are off the rails, but that's the way we roll.
That is the way. That's the way the B team rolls.
That's right.
I look forward to a black van, and I don't know if we had to play the A team characters, who we got here. I don't know. I got to go back.
We're more like the mystery van in the Scooby-Doo than we are the A team.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I really was going to say. Wait, no.
Dan,
if it wasn't for those rascally kids, if I could just tear off my face.
Shaggy.
That's right.
Oh.
That's right. My grass. It's green. What else is there? Why? That's all I got to worry about. It's green. And there is some. Listen, there's grass.
There's always
I'm not going there. Yes.
It's always an important part of the golf game. I mean, if you have grass, you're generally, it's all good.
It's true. It's very true. However, I will say when we were in San Diego, we went out and played a practice round at Concordia Golf Course, and really, I think it's like ranked in the top 5 or something for municipal golf courses or something.
You played Coronado Muni.
Yeah, Coronado Muni.
Did it have grass?
Yeah. No, it had grass. However, the tide was out, and my buddy Paul hit his ball, and it's not white stake, and so he hit his ball, and it was on the beach, if you will. And he hit from there, no grass, and he hit a solid 3-wood out of there. It was brilliant. And one of the only courses that I actually had white stakes in between fairways. I don't think I've ever come across that before.
Yeah, the good old in-course out of bounds. So you so you don't get into
later, Chris.
Bye, Chris. One of our characters. Oh. He went to his bucket.
Ocean Edge, Chris, Brewster, Mass, just in case.
Hey, there we go. apparently Alderucci, went to his first Buc-ee's today. So
Oh, see, Paul jumped on. He said he was close to a boat. He was kind of close to a boat. Very true.
Let's give Buc-ee's some love now, because I mean, I'm a fan of Buc-ee's, but since Rich is on here, we got to give a shout out to the official restaurant of the APT.
the
Fagley?
official restaurant. What's the official
Waffle
restaurant?
House.
Oh, well, of course. Absolutely. I mean, that was how many people did we meet there besides us? There was like eight or nine guys.
The restaurant was almost full of everybody from the APT that night.
Yeah. We all, Dan, was it the first night or second night of the North American this year at Myrtle? We all, we were sitting there going, man, everything's closing. Crap, where are we going to go? And it was like Waffle House.
It was the night of the par 3 challenge.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
It was the night before everything.
Yeah, because it was like that was a Wednesday, right? Or Thursday.
Wednesday. I don't know.
Yeah. Whatever.
It may have been it may have been Thursday after the practice rounds. I don't know. I've slept since then.
It wasn't a Friday or Saturday night, so things closed early, and the only freaking thing was open. Waffle House.
Hey,
it's gotta
nothing wrong with some waffles.
Absolutely
or
not.
Everything else. Just the seating is limited.
Yes. Can be.
But can be.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Absolutely.
We
made it.
Had bantering. We have got through. We went 57 minutes, and that's I'm calling it. So, with that, Dan, anything to send off?
Hey, if you ever come up to the Northeast, we have some great events. Come check us out and share the wealth, share the knowledge with everybody in the APT golfs with people that are outside the APT. Share the wealth and your experience and come on and have some fun.
And bring them in.
People. Absolutely.
Exactly. All right, Timmy, up to you.
Yeah, I'm going to echo what Dan said. Bring a friend. Always bring a friend. The more you can bring people that you enjoy playing golf with, the more fun you're going to have while you're out here, and the more you're going to grow the tour. I mean, that's what it's all about. Meeting the people and hanging out and kind of just being a social group as much as a competitive group.
Absolutely. So with that, guys, gals, everybody out there, those of you down in Florida, have a great time. Have a great night. Tim, thank you. Dan, thank you. Michael and Andrew, thanks for joining. And with that, guys, we're signing off. Have a good night.